Every episode on Celebrity Encounters podcast, we interview real people just like you sharing their own personal celebrity encounters. And with a little storytelling help from us and a few surprises from here in Las Vegas, this is Celebrity Encounters podcast. Hey everybody, I'm Harlan.
And I'm Alan.
And this is Celebrity Encounters podcast because you've watched all the episodes that we have, so you know that already, so I'm being redundant. And today we have a fabulous guest directly from, you're in San Diego? Where are you right now?
No, I'm in Newport Beach now, but I was a La La Land guy for a long time. I was forced to be there for the business.
And we have Eric coming into us live from Newport, California. If you've never been to Newport, it is absolutely beautiful right there on the ocean where big name celebrity people like Eric live.
Like Ted McGinley, he was the Grand Marshal of the Christmas Boat Parade yesterday, or actually last night's tonight.
Okay, I'm ignorant. I don't know who that is.
Oh, you don't know who Ted McGinley is? You're from Revenge of the Nerds and Happy Days, and he's made a pretty good career. He's been going on for a long time.
Do you know who he is? Be honest.
Yeah,
don't lie to me.
From you said Happy Days?
Yeah, Happy Days. I remember that he's a real good-looking yuppie kind of guy in Happy Days. I forget he was Chachi's boyfriend before, or not Chachi, the girl. What's her name? And Revenge of the Nerds is probably his most famous one, where he's the frat boy who where they're torturing the nerds.
Okay,
he's on that really popular streaming show now. I forgot what it's called, but it has Harrison Ford and Jason Segel. He's a character on that's getting a lot of attention.
It's probably one of the guys that I watch and I see and I say, where have I seen him before?
That's right.
Oh, he's one of those guys, you know him when you see him. You're like, that's the guy from Revenge of the Nerds. That's the guy from Happy Days. That's the guy. He's Married with Children. That's the biggest one, probably. Married with Children. Yeah, he's a sort of sharp, yuppie-looking guy through his younger career. He was a model and all that stuff. So he's got a long career, but you know him when you see him. You've seen him in that 20 things, but you might not know his name because he's kind of he's not a list lead guy. He's always in lots of successful stuff, but he's always a side part.
No, I get exactly what you're talking about because recently I've reconnected on social media with Eddie Deason, and Eddie is the same as this guy. Like, you'd recognize him, especially if you heard his voice, but you'd never necessarily go, oh, that's so and so. So I get.
You don't remember his name.
Yeah, absolutely. But we're not here to talk about that fellow, are we? We're here to talk about somebody else. Who would that name be?
We're here to talk about William Jefferson Clinton.
Oh. That was a heck of a good invitation. I was like, I'm talking to the president right now.
Wow. Listen, his wife
yes.
grew up in a Chicago suburb.
Oh, here we go.
And
Eric, you don't know this, but Alan is a monstrously proud Chicagoan.
Yes,
Alan, let me interrupt. I was actually born in Chicago, Oak Park, Illinois.
Me too. I was born at Oak Park Hospital.
Well, me too. I'll show you my birth certificate.
6 degrees of separation here.
We are not going to talk about your birth in this hospital. I don't care how much you two.
But my mom was smart enough to move to Newport Beach in California when I was 1.5, so I don't remember much.
Oh. No, I grew up. I was born and raised in Chicago. We moved here we're in Las Vegas now. We moved here 4.5 years ago. So
and he talks daily about Chicago.
Well, I was on the radio in Chicago. I was a talk show host on AM 1000 in Chicago, 50,000 watt radio station. At the time, we were not owned by Disney. Later in my career there, Disney bought us and then gave us all pink slip because they turned AM 1000 into ESPN Radio Chicago. So if you were not in the sports department, you got a pink slip.
Eric, you started off in radio, didn't you?
No, I've been a TV guy my whole time. But hey, you know what I tell people about Oak Park, Illinois? Your audience might like this, and you're from there. When they say, "Where's that?" I say that you know who Ernest Hemingway is. It's a celebrity tie-in. Ernest Hemingway is the most famous guy that's ever been there, but he's most famous because that's where. Sorry to say, I don't want to be a downer here, but that's where he exited the planet of his own device in Oak Park, Illinois. And everybody knows who Ernest Hemingway is. You say, "Well, that's where Ernest Hemingway, blew his brains out." Like they go, "Oh, okay, I know who Ernest Hemingway is."
So I only know Ernest because my aunt lived in Key West. And he was very popular for hanging out and drinking and partying down there.
Absolutely.
West, yeah.
Absolutely.
So I did not know that he was from Chicago because, Alan, of all the different stories, you have never dropped that one on me.
Well, nobody ever said they were born in Oak Park. I was born in Oak Park.
Me and Al are going to start a new show called Oak Park Podcast.
There you go. Where everybody from the Oak Park vicinity will love it. How big is Oak Park? Give or take.
If you want me to tell you about Bill Clinton, this one you're going to love.
Okay.
Because I was living in L.A., Studio City, of course, the Hollywood tie-in there. And one Saturday afternoon, Bill Clinton had been elected the first time he was elected. But he won the first time, his first term as president. And it was only like month and a half, 2 months before. And, it's just a Saturday, me and the ex-wife were going, we need to get something at the mall, the Glendale Galleria. I always remember it was the Glendale Galleria.
Oh, my God. Like, gag me with the spoon, that time period.
Yeah. And so, okay, we got to go over there to get wherever we can get. I don't remember. So it's a Saturday morning, pretty empty, not very many people. I'm just walking around, and my background is a broadcast journalist. I'm just walking around a corner. And all of a sudden, these guys are like, all right, there's not that many people. Everybody over to the side. There was maybe 3 or 4 people. I get over here and don't move. And I, with my background, I knew there was security. I didn't know there was Secret Service, but they looked sort of, they were security. So, sort of like nobody came immediately. And I said, what's the deal? Who is it? Who's coming by? A million to one, I'm thinking it's the president-elect of the United States. I'm thinking it's just some Hollywood celebrity, right? To sort of get out of the way and stay out of the way. Now, within short order, sort of a rope or twine is pulled up me and one other two. There wasn't anybody there. And they're like, who's coming by? Who's coming by? And finally, I got one guy to say it's President Clinton. And I'm like, in my line of work, I'm like, I don't care who it is. I can talk to anybody. And I said, President, why? Well, here's my chance to talk to a president. Haven't had that yet. I did later in my career, but it's like, okay, so I'm going to talk to him. So he comes around the corner and they're like, don't move, stay behind the rope. Some guy's standing there. When he comes around the corner, he's just by himself with his security guys. He's just impromptu. Hillary wasn't around. It wasn't an official anything. I guess he needed to go to the ball on Saturday morning too to buy I remember it was before Christmas. So he wanted to do some Christmas shopping. President-elect, all of a sudden you're the president, right?
What year was this, give or take, that you can recall?
This was, you're going to jog my memory when he first got elected. I think that was, I forget his first term. When was that? The 80s, I think, wasn't it? Yeah, 80s, yeah. And his first term, he comes around the corner and, he's just sort of casually dressed and whatever, and a couple guys walking with him. There's nobody else. There's no entourage. There's no like the president-elect is coming through. It's just a completely random. And I said, hey, he walks right up. He walks right by me. He said, hey, Mr. President, nice to meet you. He stands there, and I'm not joking. I'm trying to be funny, but it was actually hasn't happened. He just stood there and talked to me for about a minute. How you doing? What's going on? What are you doing here shopping this morning? I'm like, well, I'm going to have to get this blah, blah, blah. I don't remember. But he's like, well, yeah, I'm looking for a few gifts for some family. And da-da-da. We just shot the breeze for a minute. And it's like, well, I got to go. You have a good day now. And he's gone. And I'd say 98% of everybody there didn't even know he was there. It was like you were just running into your old friend at the mall. And you shot the breeze for a minute or two, and I got to get going or whatever. That was basically it. But
was he carrying any like bags, or was Secret Service carrying?
No, he was with a couple of Secret Service guys, and that was it. You wouldn't have known he was even the president unless you knew who he was. And they said stay back when he comes. He's coming out of some store. He came walking around a corner, and then I said, hey, how's it going, Mr. President or Mr. Clinton? And he stopped and started shooting the breeze with me for a while.
That's pretty
so
cool.
I'm so curious about this.
Then he took off and gone into the night.
If you're
amazing.
there with the president and they're shooting the breeze, what would that be? Like,
well, it
the
depends.
thing I remember the most was he did, in the kind of the caricature of Bill Clinton, where he did have a Southern accent, and he was kind of down home, because he was kind of like, well, how you doing? What's going on today? You doing some shot? All right, well, that's good. For sure it's sunny out here in California. It was like, kind of like just a good old boy from the South, just talking to him, being a friendly, nice guy. It was pretty funny. It's like, you're like, well, okay, well, I remember, I asked him what he was doing.
Was he shopping for like a dark blue pantsuit?
Not
if
yet.
You don't know the reference on that, and the reason they're all giggly, there was a person named Monica Lewinsky, which was the bane of Bill Clinton's presidency.
We won't get into that, because I did meet Monica Lewinsky later in a restaurant in Santa Monica, and all I could think was, Clinton, you're the president, don't you remember?
Well, he was an accomplished saxophone player.
Wait, what was that word? Wait, what was that word?
Accomplished saxophone player.
Oh, I thought you said saxophone. Okay.
Saxophone.
Yeah, he went on Arsenio Hall playing the sax, I remember. Yeah, he's good.
Right, he was very good.
Yeah, he's good.
So that's why he was at the mall getting a new saxophone?
Maybe.
I do remember, I may be having my memory go wrong on me, but I do remember him saying something about, well, I'm shopping for some presents for Hillary. And I said, well, in a regular conversation, I said, well, what are you getting her? What does she want for Christmas? And I forget what he said, but that's kind of like, I just had to get over. It was all impromptu.
Sure.
It wasn't. He's just like, I had to get her a present before I get back. I'll be in big trouble. You know what I mean?
So
I know what you mean.
That begs the biggest question is like, what do you get for the first lady? As like, I mean, they could get anything in the entire world, and he went to the Galleria, to shop. Now,
Popeil's Pocket Fisherman.
Yeah, no. I think the Glendale Galleria.
Yeah, right.
Or one of those bass that comes up the flag and sings Merry Christmas.
Billy Bass.
Yep. Okay, I could see that.
Yeah, I remember him being like, well, I better get her a gift or I'll be in big trouble, that kind of thing, where he's like, the reason I just came over is I forgot I didn't get her a gift yet, so I had to get her something. When I get back to, D.C., I'm going to be in big trouble.
I can imagine, especially you were just elected president to boot, so that gift better be damn good, because I would imagine being a family member of someone trying to become president must just be hell.
Yeah.
Just the schedule and what you can do and what you can't do and that kind of stuff. So that Christmas present must have been monstrously good, whatever that is.
I was so surprised to see President like Bill Clinton coming through, walking in a mall in L.A., nobody, I didn't even see on the news that he was even here. He said something like, I had to come to this thing. And he said, I had to get a gift, so I just ran over here to get one. And, it's kind of like completely, a million to one out of the blue. Like, why are you even here? Like, nobody even knew he was there, but he was there for something. He's just like, I better get her a gift or I'll be in big trouble.
But you knew he was there.
Well, no, I only knew on 15 seconds notice. No, he was totally impromptu out of the blue. He just must have told his security guards, I need to go to the mall to buy Hillary a gift or I'm going to be in big trouble. So, you do whatever the president tells you to do. And it was totally low key, just, nobody even knew he was there.
That's kind of cool.
So I'm going to do a speculation here because I think I do know who knew he was there. So back in these days, I don't know if I was working there yet, but I worked at Fox Family Channel, which was owned by Haim Saban. Haim Saban was very, very close with all the presidents, the Democratic presidents, and oftentimes would stay at Haim's very highly secured, gated community, big giant house, that kind of thing. To that end is I know for a fact when I worked at Fox Family Channel that Haim did have Bill Clinton at his house spending the night. So I don't know, because the Galleria is not far from where Haim's house is.
Yeah, but I remember Haim's in the Valley. But no, one thing I deduced was he was, like most politicians, he was there to pick up some contributions.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep, for sure. Yep. Oh man!
But he came. He went. I shot the breeze with him, and I tell you, nobody. There was one or two or three people around me, and that was it. And he came and went, and no one. If I had to prove he was there that day, it'd be pretty tough. Other than security cameras, because it was like everyone's like, "Well, who was that?" And I'm like, "That was Bill Clinton. Just got elected president." I'm like, what? Like, he's in the Galleria shopping at 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, yeah. Freaked me out too, but yeah, that was him.
So this brings me to a more contemporary Alan story, because Alan is notoriously incredibly wonderful here in Las Vegas for bumping into very, very large celebrities like Bill Clinton. The only difference is Alan would often call me up afterward and say, I just met so-and-so and I gave him my card. And I don't know if it has paid off yet.
Well, the one celebrity I met
the recent
a week and a half ago, Michael Westmore, who was the makeup artist for all the Star Trek movies,
Oscar-winning, Emmy-winning,
Emmy-winning,
big deal in that world,
big deal, and he did.
And you gave him his card.
I gave him my card.
Yes. You were the best. And the crazy thing about this, Eric, is at some point or another, these people actually do email him. It's absolutely astounding.
Cool. That I'm going to tell you this quick story. I worked. We'll lead into that on one of these other ones. For KCAL as their investigative producer on the Paramount lot. The TV studio for the KCAL Channel 9 in Los Angeles was on the corner of inside the Paramount lot. So when I go to lunch, you go out of the cafeteria at Paramount, everything's all shows and movies and sound stages. And the only thing that wasn't was the KCAL. They had the corner part of the Paramount lot. And you go to lunch at the cafeteria. And I always remember this. You see all kinds of different stuff or different productions and this and that. But when they did Star Trek was being shot on there at the time. I think it was The Next Generation or something.
Yeah.
So you go through the line at the cafeteria, and I give them a cheeseburger and fries and my soda, whatever. And whatever makeup they were in for Star Trek, they couldn't take it off, right? Because after lunch, they're coming back to shoot whatever they're shooting, and it takes 2 hours to get into whatever makeup they're. It wasn't Klingons; it was some other guys. I think those
Ferengis,
guys with the little antennas. I forgot what they were called, but they were in a lot of Star Treks. And these two guys are, it's the funniest thing I've ever seen. They're in line going, "What are you gonna have for lunch, Charlie?" It's like, "Oh, how about a hot dog or how about a slice of pizza?" And they're in full makeup down to their neck, right? Everything below their necks is like a regular, a Hawaiian shirt and shorts. And they're like, "Oh, okay, I think I'll have the lasagna. And I think I'm gonna have a roast beef sandwich." Blah blah blah. And then they're sitting at their table just shooting the breeze like anybody else, but they're in full makeup from the neck up. It's hilarious. And you're watching, people are eating lunch in full, Star Trek makeup, alien makeup, or whatever episode they're doing, and you're like, "Well, I've seen those guys. I remember those guys. Those are the whatever from Trigalon, And you're like, it was funny. They're just sitting there eating lunch like two regular guys, but they're full makeup. It's hilarious.
Alan seems to think that they were Ferengi.
Well,
yeah, a Ferengi. I think that was it. Yeah, I can't remember all the aliens.
I'm a big Star Trek fan. I tell you, so Michael told me that he did all the makeup for Next Generation. And so what you saw was Michael's work, who spent hours, days, years on the Paramount lot doing the makeup. He said that every episode they came up with on Next Generation, they would say, create a new alien.
Oh, wow.
And he would have to create this new alien. He said it took him anywhere from 2 to 4 hours to put them in makeup.
Wow.
So, that was the thing, that they couldn't take it off because it was so elaborate and took so much time to put on. It was, you were in it all day, and no matter what you were doing, having lunch or, going home to see the kids for an hour or something, it's like you're wearing your makeup. You can't take it off.
Well, see, now this begs the question, because Bill Clinton and Westmore's makeup, was that really Bill Clinton that you met?
Or that was really Bill Clinton.
Or was it a Westmore mask on a double that went shopping?
If it wasn't Bill Clinton, it was his body double. And they were real Secret Service guys. They weren't messing around when they said, "Stand here and don't move." I said, "Yes, sir."
That's awesome. That's so awesome.
Well, that was fun.
Like, and they didn't expect. I'm not shy. I'm in this business, but he wasn't walking around shaking hands, like doing a political thing. He was just shopping in the mall. But I, approached, when he walked by, I just said, "Hey, Mr. President, how's it going?" Blah blah blah, and he stopped, and he's a regular guy, a human being, so he started talking to me, and it's like, that's what you got to do. I've done. I'm not a Hollywood guy in my TV producing career, but I never could make it in that realm, in the Hollywood realm, because I don't really care. People are people, and and that's so different than the typical Hollywood thing, because they get the same question 100 times in a movie premiere or whatever. So when someone just acts like a regular person and said, "Hey, how's it going?" Something relative to what they're doing, and say, "What'd you buy the wife?" And then they start talking to you like a regular person, because they're not used to it. They're used to getting the Hollywood treatment, or the same sort of approach from another human being about, you're a celebrity, you're a star, I loved your latest movie kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not just like, what'd you have for lunch?
Evidently, Ferengi's like lasagna. So
I would think so, yes. And hot dogs. So, It's been great.
Oh my God. Eric, what a great story that tangented out into a whole thing, including Chicago, which I know brings you much joy.
Oak Park buddies here, yes.
That's it. Well, thanks for watching. If you want to be on Celebrity Encounters Podcast and have had a very fun, positive encounter, please email us at celebrityencounterspodcast@gmail.com, and we will get back to you very quickly and hopefully have you on the show. I'm Harlan.
And I'm Alan, and we'll see you next time on Celebrity Encounters Podcast.
Bye. Thanks for coming. Thanks for tuning in today, and if you enjoyed our show, please subscribe, rate, and review our podcast on all your favorite platforms. We'll see you next week with the next episode of Celebrity Encounter Podcast.